I'm going to teach you how to spar so you don't get your ass whooped in the ring. Welcome to today. We focusing on sparring just for you. We have a lot of people who are taking fights and in the sport of boxing or kind of tiptoeing around. And so they want to know, as a beginner, how do I get better at boxing? So we're going to show you here how to improve your sparring. So we're going to start right off with one of the quarters that you'll one of the things that you'll learn in the first semester of the School of Boxing. We're going to show you how to do basic fundamental sparring, because if you don't have these principles, what will happen is you'll find yourself getting caught with punches. You'll find yourself freezing up in the ring. And if you've ever been inside of the ring, you know this happens. You forget where you are in the ring, and you cannot be productive if you are in that mindset. So what we're going to do is teach you and walk you through how to have the best performance of your life on a constant basis. Let's take a look. Hopefully this brings you value, but with no further ado, let's learn how to box, and make sure you let me know exactly where it is that you're watching from, because we're about to teach you some serious boxing. Things we do. Round one is make sure that you never give your guy a good angle. So when you're starting to box, after you start to set the distance, your objective is to create the angle. So just box off the angle, keep him turning. As long as his feet are turning, he cannot set and deliver. That's your objective. So whether it's double steps and keeping your head off the line, the angles are super important. Let's see what it looks like. Round one. Round one is make sure that you never give your guy a good angle. So when you're starting to box, after you start to set the distance, your objective is to create the angle. So just box off the angle, keep him turning. As long as his feet are turning, he cannot set and deliver. That's your objective. So whether it's double steps or circles, keep changing the angles. Pop, pop, pivoting, pop, pop, and just being smart, rebounding, making sure you got the proper distance, and keeping your head off the line. The angles are super important. Now you want to keep every technique that they're throwing at you memorized, and start hooking off of your jab, moving your body around the ring. Keeping that constant movement is what keeps you from being a target in boxing. And that opens up shots for you. It makes boxing much more simple, but you have to put the work in. Hands up, jab high, jab low. Distract them with your activity. See, a good offense is your best form of defense. That's how you get better in the ring when you're doing your sparring drills. Then as the round gets closer, you start increasing your activity, because the judges will remember that. So put your punches together in bunches and never let them see you sweat. Keep working. 6 rounds of the basic rounds, and that's how you get better at boxing. Good work. Steady on your feet and confidence. Head off the line and look for the counter. All right, round two, what you want to do now right there, that is what we call setting up, filling you out. Now, being from this pool of boxing knowledge, all of you are getting an opportunity to really see what goes into building. And as someone who came in to make sure that all of those I's were dotted and those T's were crossed, when you're in the ring, I'm going to show you round two, and I want you to take notes, because this is what happens. You know, this book that we did, 2021 Olympics, is my art of sparring book. And what that did is show you how to do it like the old giants of old. I'm third generation coach. I'm not one of these guys who just got into the game and start doing it. All right. So I'm giving you some knowledge that you can use. And when you start to apply it this way, This is what my uncle showed me firsthand when I was a little youngster in the game. 3 decades in now, we've been responsible for over maybe 62, 63 golden gloves, 3 Olympic tenures, and many, many, many guys that are legends right now. And I'm telling you, if you overthink what they did, that's what's making you miss. You don't overthink it. You realize they kept it simple. They kept it simple. They used the jab. They used basic footwork. This is why I taught you guys the box step. The box step is the most simple form of footwork that there is. And if you type in box step all over the internet, it's me all over, because that was one of the main principles. Double box steps, simple things, nice jab, Philadelphia lineage. And those gym wars are extremely tough. So what we want to do is find out, why is it that most people overthink boxing? Because one of the things is they don't do enough repetition. They don't have enough repetition. And so that puts you in a position where you're never going to be comfortable, and you're going to always forget what you had in class the day before, because it's not embedded in your muscle memory. Now, round two, one of the things that we got to learn is, hence is why when greats like Archie Moore, special shouts out to J. Marie Moore, they put me in charge of their family brand name because of the method that I use and I approach boxing. And the words out of her mouth is, you remind me of my daddy more than anybody. And the reason why that is because I understand how complex boxing will be if you don't follow a process, right? This is a briefcase. 27 books on boxing. 27 books. You can't possibly learn boxing if you're overthinking. It's too much to know. That's just 27 books that I've written, because you have to condense it. And then we put it in a process where you can just follow one day at a time. You don't try to know everything, but you learn the most important things. And the most important thing is to keep the most important thing, the most important thing. I'm no one. I'm absolutely no one. The only thing I do is care about the sport. And I want you guys to know that this sparring will change who you are if you keep it simple and do enough repetitions, damn it. Stop trying to take shortcuts and be Floyd Mayweather tomorrow, Manny Pacquiao tomorrow, Canelo Alvarez tomorrow, Terrence Crawford tomorrow, Salvador Sanchez tomorrow. This shit takes time. So stop being an asshole and start being focused, and stop trying to be who you're not. Be who you are. And that, when you got ring identity, that's everything. And this is ring identity. Now stay your ass still and let's get it popping. Watch round two and stop looking around, gazing all over the fucking place. Let's work. Is you want to make sure that you're changing the velocity of your punches by going high and low, distracting your opponent, circling them, pop, pop. Not just going straight with the jab, but pecking to the body and the head. Good. Taking them jab here, pop. Jab steps, staying on the angle. Pop, pop. High and low. Let's see what it looks like. Now, when you come out the set, you want to make sure that you got your guys directly in your line of fire. Right before you start the punch, you want to start pulling them in. If he throws the punches, you got to make sure that you are conscious to take the half step back. Because remember, jab steps, punching high and low is your agenda. Is your agenda. Once you can touch them again. And then you start maximizing the combination punching. Hopefully this makes sense. But when you're boxing, there's just so many little principles that you got to keep in mind. So the next thing you got to do is make sure that you're ready to counter them. because they're going to get frustrated. That's going to happen. But once you continue to stay on an angle, half step back, moving around in circles, they're frustrated and they're off balance. And that's when you can continue to hit them with punches. There you go. Reset. Get your mind right back into the game plan. Mix the punches up high and low. Stay steady on them. Stay on their nerves. Sooner or later, they'll wilt under pressure. And you'll start to dominate activity, open shots. And your principles start to get easier when you stick with the fundamentals of boxing. Off the line, left to right, high, low, and steady with your offense. Repeat these rounds over and over, and you'll see yourself improving with your in-the-ring boxing. Round 3, what you want to do is now you want to blind them and bombard them with a... Pause that. Now, my thing is to stay focused on the screen when you're learning this stuff. I didn't spend 3 decades doing this to give you some bad news or bad advice. I'm telling you, out of all of the things, last week we were on the call. We were on our live stream last week. Derek James pops in. Why? Because Derek James, people like that, they know what I do. They know how I've been doing it, right? They know I put good information out. They know I know my shit. Over 3 decades, I've done this. And the only thing that I can tell you that's been consistent is people over fucking thinking everything that they're trying to learn. And all of these wannabe guys popping in, some guy up here asking me about who I am. How many amateur fights and pro fights have you had? Like, this dude don't even know who I am, but he's just asking about me. Like, I could care less about who you are. What you need to know is, are you learning, or are you just focused on talking? This is the minuscule mindset. You can't learn because you're not focusing on what's important. The most important thing is learning. And that's the mindset that you got to stay away from. You got to have wherewithal to catapult. And that takes the same kind of focus that it takes to be an NFL quarterback. You got to be in the books. And damn it, I wrote the books. You got to be in them. And you got to go to the gym and you got to study. And you can't go there thinking that you're going to have what you need and be doing scattering thinking. You're looking everywhere. You can't even focus on the screen. I don't watch this thing on this screen go up and down. Now, the real giants in the game know what it is we do. It's the small people. It's always these small people that pop up out of nowhere, and what they do is throw the complexity off in the ring, the room, the rhythm. They walk into the gym, and then they move everybody's movement, their mood, and they don't bring value. They just extract value from the room. Don't let people like that interfere with your mindset, because what you got to do now is you got to stay concentrated on the screen. And now that we're going to get on the screen, you're going into round 3. Are you still focused? Have you actually been taking notes? Because you're not getting world-class coaching just to get in front of somebody like me. Sit down. If you physically in front of me, you got to go sell your car. And damn it, I earned that spot. If you want to get further in boxing, you got to stay concentrated. You got to pray, because you're going to need the right mindset. It's not just you doing this. It's about the mindset that you bring into the gym over and over and over. Coach Kenny Porter, Sean Porter's father, when we helped them out for the Spence fight, he didn't have his son's mind when he fought Crawford, but when they fought Spence, Porter was an absolute beast. And my number one fighter helped him in this training camp. And when he called me, he said, "Hey, I'm going to just stay here, but when I come home, I want to fight, but I want you to watch what I do." And he could never get back on track because Antonio Margarita broke his orbital bone. He never was the same fighter because that was the second time. Those are the kind of things that's going to happen if you don't pay attention to the detail. I didn't just turn this stream on just to let you steal more ideas and stuff. You need a lesson in boxing from an old head, someone who's going down in the books. I'm a legend, but I'm a legend because I followed a process and I was developed through greatness. I got to see the greatest do it firsthand, third generation. And I'm giving you that. If you can't focus on that, if you can't stay locked into that, you're never going to get this game because this is boxing. And damn it, we teach boxing. All right. Let's get it going. Round 3. Keep your eyes focused. There's going to be something very valuable at the end of this clip right here. And if you stay tuned, you'll see it. Let's go. So you start to release the flurries. And this is what you call letting your hands go. So once you start to throw the, refer to the art of sparring guy, where you can see how to throw the combinations and circle them. It's hard for him to work. Keep moving them. That's how you do. Blur his vision, keep him off balance, distract him, and stay on his nerves. Let's see what it looks like. Now, when you're focusing on flurries to blind them, you're hiding that big shot. And so everything you throw in bunches. Create the angle so you don't get countered. Now, once you're doing this, every once in a while something to slide through. That's why you have to be defensively responsible, hooking off the jab, throwing the combinations, making sure that when they throw that they're reaching because you're taking that half step back. And so when you do this so repetitiously, you will find yourself making this second nature. Combinations fluently to the body and head. Hence is why guys like Sugar Ray Robinson made it look so easy. Sugar Ray Leonard, just throwing combinations, it has to be an act of will and an act of skill. So stay steady doing it and you'll find this so much more easy. Fighters get stuck throwing single shots a lot. And the reason why that is because they don't practice this. They just spar and the intensity is too high, so it makes it hard to do this. But if you see here, fighters know how long to take to recover. 7 seconds. In the comment boxes, if you heard what I said about how long it takes a fighter to recover when they understand the breathing techniques, write it down in the comment boxes right now. If you heard what I just said, write it down in the comment boxes below right now. If you just heard what I said about the length of time that it takes a fighter to recover inside of the boxing ring, write it down right now in the comment boxes. One person, 2 people, 3 people. It'll be 10,000 people that watch. It'll be 10. My video from Sunday did 27,000 views on a stream. I'm hoping that you guys are really taking me serious with this because y'all, we reached 10 million. 10 million people, 10.4 million people. Okay. 10.4 million people. If out of all of the people that's watching now, out of all the people that's watching right now, if the percentage of you or those knew the answer, like look how small a percentage that is opposed to who's watching. This is what I mean. But look, my inbox is going to be blowing up with people saying, hey, how How do I do this? How do I do that? What can I do with better footwear? I want better hand. Like they're asking questions right after they watched the video. I gave them my answers. That's where we got to get from. Boxing is frowned upon by other sport industries, not because it's not cool, but because it's not evolving with the people that are taking part in it. If you watch different industries, they're elevated, and that's exactly what you have to be. You have to walk in there like you're coming to get a PhD, like you're about to be a heart surgeon. You have to take it that serious. I did. I did. Build your resume up. Build your resume up and start focusing. I got a question that I'm going to answer, and then I'm going to go to the final round. I call Fine Canelo's 7-second rest. Yeah. Yeah. Canelo's. It's a 7-second. You recover, and it's all about the breathing techniques. If you're in the school of boxing, you know that we go through that with our Philly shell training. You learn how to breathe and the methods of breathing and the techniques that we use to extend and have a dominant second half of the fight, opposed to just starting out strong. So let's see this last part. You know what? I got to say congratulations and welcome to my guys. Let me see. I'm gonna put the other guys up here who did the right thing. Gary, thank you for putting that up there. Thank you for putting that up there. We got a couple of people who really took it serious. Recover from flurry. There you go. I like this guy. Calvin. Hey, Keith. Is it Keith? Keith, you need to be in our school for sure. You need to message the page when you get done. And I am going to say a couple of things to my people. We got to welcome our people who just registered for the school. We welcome all of our coaches. I got to run them down because that's what I do. I have to acknowledge people who I know about to be in charge of the boxing game, because I'm going to teach them everything I know. All right. All of those books, this is what they're about to learn. Larry Barker, special shouts out to you. Welcome to the School of Boxing. Coach PT, special shouts out to you. Welcome. Joshua Brown, you're in the building. School of Boxing. Coach JB, special shouts out to you and your people doing things and big things. My man Sonny Carleone, I just spoke to him. Welcome. Special story. I can't wait to share his story on this page. Great guy, fighter in both sports, MMA and boxing. You got to love him, and a champion. That's what I'm talking about. We coaching great people. And special shouts out to my people now, the House of Athletes, Steve East and Steve East. See, this is what's happening. We're robust because those are the people that knew that they wanted it more. They wanted to get the real smoke. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of how you got to go about it. Now, this whole download right there. Let me see, my man. I am watching. It's great, but a phone waiting on my mom doc appointment. I hear you, brother. I hear you. But guess what's so special? This is what I realized. There in the past week or two, we've had 2 inmates from prison order our skills book in prison. And I told those guys, you stay positive, you stay motivated, you stay focused, because what's going to happen is the tide is going to turn your way. People on the yard are going to want you to help them. And then people are going to start talking. And then the wardens are going to start favoring you. And that's what's going to put you in a position of power and leverage, because you're going to own and possess a skill and a craft that no one else has. And that's what I mean about, if you're going to do boxing, if you're fighting, fine. But you got to learn how to teach it too, because you'll be one of the people that own a possession that not everybody will have. You can get in the ring and box. I box amateur 2 or 3, 5 fights. You don't know boxing. So you got to learn boxing so you can teach boxing. I have taught some of the most celebrated amateurs in history. And the first thing they say when they were transferring from fighting to coaching and training is, this is a totally different beast. Absolutely. Coach Belichick can win Super Bowls, but he ain't getting on no field running the ball. These are two different professions, man. So when you get it to that place, you got to learn how to lean into it because you're going to be faced with opportunity. The thing about it, though, is you're going to be prepared. See, if you want to get great at something, teach it. So if you're a boxer and you're boxing, learn how to teach, learn how to take tools and use them in your favor, because it's hard to just show your skill set and teach it. You have to go further, you have to go deeper, you have to become the expert. And you can't be an expert in anything when there's nothing written. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the frontal cortex that stamps what you know in your brain. When you get it here in your physiology, that's called mastery. But when you got to have it cognitively. That's why people forget things when they're in the ring, when they can't transfer the skills that they have into the boxing ring. Y'all following what I'm saying? That's Bible. Yeah, it's just the reality of things, man. And when it's all said and done, if you stay true to form, what'll happen is you'll start to see the other side. I can't, this is all over again. This is exactly right here. That's what we got right here. I use my time because I wanted to make sure that the message got through. Showing you guys skills is one of the things that I learned is not the best thing. It's not the best practice because you don't get the lesson. You just try to copy the skill, but you don't have the context to go with it. So I wanted to bring it front and center with you today. Now that's what we are doing. And those guys who are just getting into the school, they're in for a whole treat. Now that video right there, just that basic fundamental sparring, it's about right at 20 minutes of knowledge and learning, a whole lot of documenting and writing, but you have the guide to follow. So special shouts out to you and thank you all for watching. If you aren't following this page, make sure you do if we bring you value. If you found this information valuable to your journey, because I don't want you following us if this ain't your journey. If you want fitness and you want to know how to manage your body and your mental health and you want to elevate and catapult and what we call bring momentum to your life, then this is a good page. If you want to learn boxing, this is a great page. But if you're, kind of, you don't know what you want in life, it's a lot of other pages and stuff, but we want to support what your dream is. So make sure you let us know, what is it that you want to accomplish most this year? It's 2 months left in this year. What do you really want to accomplish going into this next year? This next calendar year is a real thing. Take your pad and I challenge you to write it down. And if you want more, write it down. Don't think small, think large. Think large. Don't think small. Take one bite at a time, but build over a course of time. That's what gets you to your highest level. And you can operate on an entirely different stratosphere if you focus on that. That is fundamental sparring, School of Boxing. For those of you who have been watching on the page, we thank you. All 10.4 million of you that we reached in the past 4 weeks. Special shouts out to you. We couldn't do it without you, and we appreciate you. Until next time, continue blessings. Keep it locked. This is day 5 of Skills Guide. This is how we rocking. We out of here, guys. Continue to follow for more. If you want more, make sure you go up to the website, the School of Boxing, Top Trainer U, and get serious about the sport. That's all I got. Blessings to my new brothers in the School of Boxing, Top Trainer U. Peace.